I really appreciate your inspiration in getting into therapy. Do you see the landscape changing among the demographic of therapists? Are more minority individuals getting involved in it? Because I think what you're saying is really powerful. You know, the notion of getting in there and being able to see somebody who they
identify
understand. Yeah, that you can identify with. Exactly. Are things changing in that profession?
I think so. I mean, I absolutely think so. I mean, we
Good.
see a new generation every time we get new interns, I feel like.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is true. This is true. I will be selfish and say not to the degree that I would love
Yeah,
to see.
for sure.
I'm always that squeaky wheel that says, but is this in Spanish? Do we have this in Spanish? Especially for like my
Yeah.
agency, it's huge, and that's always I'm the one, and I will even preface it saying, "It's me again. Is this available? What are we doing to help our Spanish-speaking community?"
But so needed. I mean, I think we don't always think about that because, again, we have our perspective on, and we need that perspective is what I'm saying. And we need to be challenged so that we can evolve into not having you have to say it because we're just going to do it.
Being able to speak in their language for them to understand what you're saying is major, is huge. And not only being able to speak the language, but being able to understand enough of the language to be able to not have it very clinical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conversational. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beyond just knowing, you know.
Your child's
Spanish or
symptoms
whatever.
is
Yeah.
XYZ
Right.
versus here's the
present it.
struggles he's having. This is how it's showing up on your specific child. Like
Yeah.
this is what that is. It's not them, especially because a lot of mental health comes across as for children is behavioral. It seems
Yeah.
like things you can control.
Right.
It's not a broken arm. It's not you in a wheelchair. It's not something you can see, which I think is a stigma. Across just human nature. For example, trying to explain ADHD to a Mexican parent, which was my experience explaining to dad, son has ADHD. It's just a behavior thing. You're going to get up and you're choosing to. How is this not within their control? They're obviously doing this. I'm saying keep their body still and they're explaining like the neuroscience even behind like this is what's happening. Like it's literally not within their control.
Yeah.
And the more you can do that in their own language, and maybe like you would in English, if this doesn't work, let me explain it a different way. Let me use different words. Being able to do that and shift in their own language is going to be something that is going to stay with them, hopefully. And then they could pass it along, and they can pass it along. And so that ripple effect is kind of what you would be after to spread the word that, or just to create enough curiosity to be curious about maybe there's a different thing. Maybe something is different. There's a lot of firsts that are happening that I will be honest, feel the American side of me is very proud. I did this and you know, all these accomplishments. The Mexican, the Latina side of me is, how is this going to help your family? How is this going to help your people? How are you pulling them forward by doing this?
Yeah.
While it seems like it would be one, you know, hand in hand, it's not. There's a lot because, you know, the whole imposter syndrome that you're like, oh, am I really like, should I really be here? Am I really doing this? Like, why me? But then you also, you have information, you have knowledge that gives you permission to feel things, to say things. You just have to find the way to say it where it's still appropriate, where it's still going to be received. Maybe not necessarily appropriate, but where it's going to be received, which is going to be your ultimate goal, where it's going to say, you know what, it's okay. It is okay that you wake up and you don't feel like you're going to conquer the world.
Right.
In my culture, if you have no use, you have no purpose. And which adds to, as you get older, it adds to the fact that when you are not able to do those things anymore, then you, depression and all these things that come up that people just don't talk about. They don't, it's just what happens. It's just what it is. So you kind of accept it. So going from one to another, I recently, and sorry if I'm going on here, but I was thinking about this as we were preparing for this podcast, and I thought, I remember growing up, having conversations with my mom. I had a lot of feelings. It's a very emotional person. A lot of anger, a lot of things that I can now be like, oh, that wasn't okay. A lot of things going on. And I remember going to my mother, bless her, okay, single mother, 4 kids. She got married at 14, had a kid by 15, was done by 19, and left. So I have big shoes to fill, right? Let's just start with that. The pressure of this is who you have as an example. You have to do that and then more, Like, how are you going to honor her by doing better, by providing more, by doing more, by being more? Long story short, went to ESL classes, learned to speak English, put herself through GED classes, got her GED, went through college, got her associates. She's a small business owner. She's an immigration counselor. So she's huge shoes, right? It's
Yeah.
amazing. It makes me so proud. But it's just kind of like the
Yeah.
expectation is you
Make
want
her
your kids
proud.
to do better. How do I make her proud? You have nailed it. How do I make her proud? And every day you kind of live and say, how do I honor the
Right.
sacrifices that she made?
Right.
How do I uphold that? And so while it seems maybe like just part of who you are, it plays into your mental health. When you wake up, whenever you're doing your things, when you're walking across the stage to get is this going to be enough? Is this more? So, so big shoes to fill. So growing up, she did the best she could. She did the best she could with what knowledge she had. But I remember there was a time when I would, I would just be screaming and crying, not really knowing what was going on. And I would tell her, I just don't want to live. I don't want to be here anymore. And so the Mexican way at that time is just like, you're fine. Nothing's wrong. You have these things. You have a roof over your head. You have food in your belly. You have all this. There's no reason why you should do that. So she called a pastor in, which is what you did.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, if it got to the point, you call a pastor in because things are still kind of private. The understanding of privacy, I think, or confidentiality with therapy isn't, it's still a little bit foreign. But having the opportunity and opening up and saying, maybe there's a different way. Maybe that worked at the time and there's a different way now. So when both of my boys came at different times, they came and they talked to me about struggles that they were having. Not because I'm this great mom or because I'm always open and no. But just providing the space to say, you know what, I don't know, but I'm listening. I don't know. I always wondered, where did they get these words? Words that I could have never imagined to come and say, to put words to what I was going through, to my anxiety, my depression, all those things. There wasn't a language for that. So whenever they came to me, and it was really hard as well as being the person who's supposed to fix things and being the head of the family, and I was supposed to take care and being a therapist. How am I not able to help my kids? Why are you? And I heard the voice again. Why? You have me. I listen to you. You have what you need. I heard it again. And it had to be very intentional for me to say, just listen. Just listen. Admit what you don't know is I don't know how to help you. I don't understand, but I'm going to find someone. If you need someone to talk to, I'm going to find. And if that person doesn't fit, we're going to find someone else. So doing that, I think, or my hope is that I grew up on survival, and I want them to grow up in healing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hoping to set up for them.
Well, I like how you're saying all that. I mean, to me, as I was thinking, as you were talking, I was like, it sounds like you really blended the parts of you that come from your mom and the culture that you carry with you today into like what you are today and who you are. Like you've kind of married those two things in this really beautiful way to give your sons this safe space to have conversations with you of like, this is what I'm going through. So you found like a way to create, I guess, common ground or connectivity with like the cultural parts of you that you bring that are so beautiful and evolve those into the culture of your family today.
Every day is a battle to figure out who am I? What is this going to be? And I don't think that that's necessarily specific to my culture. I think that might be everybody.
Well, I've heard both of you kind of say a similar statement, like there's this pursuit of identity that comes from, from being within a different culture, day to day. As I was listening to your story, Joana, a couple of things were coming to mind. One was the value of utility, like I've got to do this. I have to. It's almost like this servanthood, particularly to your family. I've got to serve my family in this way, but I can foresee that this would be something that your community as a whole might deal with. No, I can't do that. I don't have the time for the mental health care.
It's selfish.
Yeah, right.
It's selfish, I think, is how I didn't have another word for it, but it's selfish. Why are you worried about you? Yes, okay, you're feeling sad. You know what? Fine. suck it up, take a shower, get in,
Yeah.
and do the things.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially once you have kids, when you
Right.
have family to care for, and it's
Right.
not always kids. You don't have time for that. Your role has shifted from being the child and being taken care of to now you need to do for this extent of period of time, you need to do the things.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you pass that period of time, your adulthood, and as long as there's still use you can do, you're still in adulthood, then you move on to being an elder, then you move on to more relaxing. And her sisters, she's had a lot of medical issues, and when she's not able to do things, she has fallen into deep depression about that. I can't drive. I can't do these things. I'm useless. There's no what's the point?
Yeah.
Shifting that and the pain you carry with that and saying, I hear you, like I understand. I don't understand because I've lived it. I understand because historically that's what's flowing in my blood. I
Right.
know my expiration date. And so trying to find the voice of saying, that's not where your worth is, which I think ties in huge to mental health is how do you see yourself? And then you're fighting yourself is yourself doesn't matter. How does your presence make the world better?
Yeah.
And that's a huge pressure to have
Yeah.
whenever you're
Sounds
trying
like
to
it.
also take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like things and people and stuff that precede you, right? Like, okay, we have to take care of all these other things before we take care of this. But it's not because we're neglectful of our individual self as much as it is that we are trying to balance the importance of taking care of and nurturing others in our family as well as us too. So it's just remembering it's us too.
Yeah.